Game changer on easy mode. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? We're talking Emic Trunkheart, and he's about to drop the mic. The E-mic.
Yeah, that was bad.
Okay, I know it was bad. I know. But still, let's move on. Emic Trunkheart, this guy is going to be legit. His creepy moving hand shield is going to change your account forever. I think he has really positive implications for lots of areas of the game. Today, we're going to focus on the Unkillable buff to transition you into Ultra Nightmare or improve your Ultra Nightmare setup. There's going to be tons of teams coming out with him, and this one, I think, is the easiest. So let's jump right in, because this guy is definitely legit. Before we jump into all the awesomeness that is this video, I want to do a gem giveaway for you guys. So in case you're trying to build your new Emic team, or you want some gems for the fusion, let's go ahead and give away gems to a couple different people. Put your player ID in the comments below and tell me what your favorite part about this team is. If you don't like it, you can tell me that as well, and then I will get you guys some gems. Now let's hop into the video. So we have the budget Emic team that I'm very excited to share. First of all, definitely have to give a huge shout out to my dudes from the Oath Cluster, Archie Gallus, and also my dude Thrill. These two have been essential in helping me set up this team. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. And we worked out all of the details just for you guys. So let's jump into the team and why it's so good. So in this team is sort of set up like my Hella Crusher team. And if you don't have all of these champions, Bane is going to be interchangeable, but the other three are going to be necessary here. So if you don't have these champions, head over to MtgJedi.com. Under the clan boss section, there's going to be some other teams there available for you. And I'll put the link to this team for my website in a pinned comment as well if you want a visual or a written breakdown of the team. For now, let's talk about the speeds and let's talk about the AI priorities. You will need to manual the first 2 rounds of this team, but it does work on Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare, and Brutal. Nightmare and Brutal will be slightly different rotations, and I will go over that towards the end of the video. The most important is Ultra Nightmare here. So the AI is still important even though you're manualing the teams. When we come in here, we want to open A1 on Skull Crusher. He's going to be at 172. Bane, I like 1 and 2 priorities here. Doesn't really matter. Emic, he's going to have 2 turns on his A1 and then priority on his A3. Bearkin just does his own thing. He's good to go. And then Painkeeper down here at the bottom, a little bit hiding behind me. She's going to open A3 with priority on A2. You can see that I had Fane at 176, Emic at 171, Farrakhan at 177, and Painkeeper at 174. All ridiculously low speeds, which is amazing. A lot of times teams like this do not have slow speeds, but this team definitely does, okay? So there are some really important things that you need to remember when you're building this team, so let's talk about those before we jump in. These speeds are not locked in. So Emic has to be the slowest because we want him going at that time in the turn order. If you're familiar with Deadwood Jedi's calculator, you can mess with some speeds, or you can just test them yourself. If something falls apart, just force close the app up here and then reopen it so you don't lose your key. If you don't know how to use Deadwood's calculator, then I would just recommend trying to follow these speeds as closely as possible, with this probably being your first Ultra Nightmare team or your first Speed Tune team. It's best to stick with what the video shows to match it as closely as possible. Okay, so let's talk about some specifics here that are going to be really important. The first thing that's going to be really important is Skullcrusher's masteries. Okay, I would recommend just copying these masteries that I have here because they won't mess you up. But if you want to change them, what you need to avoid is Life Drinker Mastery, cannot have it, and the Resurgent Mastery cannot have it. Both of those two masteries will mess this team up. One of the things that really helped me early on in building this team was putting defensive stats on Painkeeper with the Immortal set here. I'm not sure if that's necessary now that Skullcrusher's masteries are fixed, but I just want to mention it because that's what helped the stun targeting initially. If you're having a problem with the stun targeting, you can also use the Steadfast Mastery on anyone except Skullcrusher. We want the stun going to Skullcrusher, otherwise this team will fail, and so you need to run this on Void. This is going to be a 2-key Ultra Nightmare team, and you can get your 2 keys in right away in the morning. If you go to the other affinities for this team, you might run into some problems, especially on Spirit. So make sure that you're trying to hit this on Void. I think also, if you want to make this affinity friendly, you could replace Fane with Doom Priest or Brogni, someone like that. But Farrakhan is really important in here because of his ally attack. His ally attack paired up with this A1 on Painkeeper is going to keep the team in sync. I tried it without Farrakhan, it does not work. But Fane can be anyone, okay? This can be Rosin, this can be the new chick, Fergun Isbel. But if you want information on how good she is, make sure you check out that video from yesterday. Fane can be anybody, okay? Geomancer would be great. There's a lot of people who could go here and who could make this, even better for you. Dracomorph comes to mind as another option here. But if you don't have Fane, then you can still replace her. Now let's jump into the team so I can show you the run. All right, so I'm going to start this with the auto button on, and then I'm going to turn the auto button off after everybody goes, because I want Emic to do a second A1. He's really the only one we need to manual, so what I do is I just click the on and off auto button, so I know that Emic is going to come in here and do 2 A1s, and then we can click full auto. So Skullcrusher's going to go here, then Emic needs the A1, then we hit auto, and we're good to go. You can see the clan boss is targeting Skullcrusher, as he should, and that's because that unkillable buff is going to keep him alive. His passive is going to cleanse that stun, but if he has that mastery, then it conflicts with his passive for some reason, and I still don't know why that is, but it is that way. So now that we have this like this, Skullcrusher does not have the Life Drinker Mastery, so he's going to get to the lowest HP very quickly, okay? And I think that if you're having a hard time getting him to be the stun target, then put some more defense or HP on your other champions, but so far I haven't found any issues. So, what you're going to notice is that everybody is going to get to super low health, and so some of the masteries on my champions would need optimized. I will talk about that after the run as well. For now, I'll go ahead and speed up the run. If I think of any other crucial information here, then I will let you know midway through. But as for now, this is going to run all the way to turn 50, be unkillable, and we're going to see some amazing damage here. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to build this team. How would you optimize it? Do you have your own Emic team? I always want to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you appreciate this video, make sure you hit the like button and share it with somebody who needs this team. All right, let's speed it up. Let's throw on some music, and I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, I'm so pumped about this team. Almost 45 million damage. Fane and Farrakhan both carrying the team here with the damage. And then Emic, you probably won't put as much crit damage on him as I did, so expect a little bit less damage from him. But this team is legit. I can't wait for you guys to build it. Let's jump into some specifics about the team and then take a look at the build. Okay, so let's talk about the Nightmare and Brutal rotations here for you guys. When you're going to do these two, you will need to do Skull Crusher's A1 twice before you do his A2. On Painkeeper, you need to do A3, A1, A2. And Emic, he's just going to do his A3 right away. Okay, so you can basically use the same AI priorities, but I would probably set up a different saved preset for your Nightmare and Brutal teams. That way you don't get mixed up, okay? Now let's jump into the builds so you can see some important things there as well. All right, so we have Emic over here. He does have some crit stats. What I want you to remember with all these builds is these crit stats are not imperative. You can alter them or lower them depending on what your gear is like. So when you see that I have 265 crit damage, don't worry about that. Just get the amount of damage that you can get, especially on him. He's not kicking out a lot of damage. If you're going to put a lot of damage on anyone, put that on Fane or put that on Farrakhan or both, okay? And then Skull Crusher over here, I prioritize defensive stats on him, and I also prioritize defensive stats on Painkeeper. Go back and pause the video if you need to see those in greater detail, but remember the most important thing is the speeds. And last but not least, I think Doom Priest would be a suitable replacement for Fane if you want to try to make this affinity friendly. I'm still not sure it will work on Magic because the stun won't go to Skull Crusher, but the other affinities it should work if you put Doom Priest in there in place of Fane for Spirit. That'd be something that you can test out. So, let me know what you think about this team. What other questions do you have? And will you be building this? I know that for me, on my free-to-play, I'm going to be looking for a team that will work with Emic on my roster. So, hopefully, I'll be able to get him and complete the fusion, and then get an Ultra Nightmare 2 key going on that account as well. If you have a sweet Emic team and you want to see that featured on the channel, make sure you message me in the comments or in Discord so we can set that up. And I'll see you guys in the next video.